There's two sides to every coin. When we hear the word success, we often think of just one side: money, cars, a mansion, the dream. But behind the glamorized hustle, the fantasy, the motivation montages, this is what I truly had to give, the price I had to pay. This is the ugly side of winning. Friends, I don't have any. Now, I know how it's going to sound, but I dropped them. I dropped a lot of my friends, and it wasn't because, I got caught up in work and I was working so much that they just faded away. I made a conscious effort to drop some of the people that I used to hang out with for like years, 10 years, right? And I heard the quote, you're the sum of the top 5 people you hang out with. And I just took a second, I looked around, and I realized that I didn't want to be that with these people. Right now, I know this sounds kind of douchey, but it's just how it is. It's true. It's a true statement that whoever you hang out, whoever your core group is, that is who you really become, right? And I wanted to, I was aiming for something bigger when they were just staying stagnant and they weren't advancing, and they were just, it was the same old stuff since high school, playing video games, partying, drinking, drugs and alcohol. And I was like, this is not, it was fun for a time, but I gotta let it go. So right now it's just my girlfriend and Nick, my business partner. And that's about it. That's as narrow as I've made the list, and I'm still trying to build and make connections and whatnot, so my path is still ahead of me. But at the current point, all my old friends, I got rid of them, right? So that's just a hard truth of something that I had to do to get to where I want to be. My passions. So hockey, that was my life. If you were to go back, since I was 8 or 9, in 2004, when the Calgary Flames went to the Stanley Cup, that was my entire life. I lived, I breathed, I slept, I ate hockey, everything. So I was a hockey player, I was a hockey gamer, and we'll get into that. And I was a hockey fan, a huge hockey fan. I knew stats. I was that guy who could plot stats from players from 3 years, from since they were in junior and everything. And I did not watch the Stanley Cup final this year. I watched highlights of when Ovechkin won the cup, and that was it. I dropped it. So if you were to ask me what players on what team, I have no idea, and it burns me, because that was my whole life. It was literally that's how I identified myself. My name's Gerald. I'm a hockey player. I love hockey. That was it. Throughout high school, throughout everything. And as I went into business, I got rid of that whole side of myself. If you're a sports fan, it's hard to explain, but if you're a sports fan, you understand how big your sport is to you. And now it's I don't even know the sport anymore. I don't even know, I don't follow it. So I got rid of that. My health. Now, this is probably the most dangerous thing to compromise on your way, on your journey, right? But it's something I fell into, and I'm still kind of, working on, but I'm getting better. But when I started really grinding on Amazon and with personal branding and whatever it may be, when I started trying to build big businesses and I just put my head down, I forgot about, everything. So in terms of going to the gym and eating, I would, overeat some days and then not eat at all on some other days. And then I would just, binge. I would go 3 Red Bulls to pull an all-nighter, and it started getting really bad. So what happened was I was gaining weight, and it wasn't good because it was flashback time. Now I'm going to share something with you guys I've never shared before, but when I was a kid, I was overweight, super. I'll see if I can pull up a picture for you guys. But it was bad, right? And that was even when I was playing hockey, so it was bad. And I worked really hard in the last year of high school, just not that long ago, really, to lose that. And then again, I went on an extreme. So I got really skinny. So I kind of have, I guess, an addictive personality in it's either I'm eating or I'm not. So after high school, I started trying to build up and, get healthier. And I got on a good path. And then once I started again with Amazon, I kind of threw it all out the window, and I've been faltering, right? So that was something that I really knew that out of everything is probably the most important to keep up, because what's money without health? So one of my next levels of success I'm trying to achieve right now is to get back onto where I was probably 2-3 years ago. And it's getting hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting hard being on this trip with all the great food here in Asia. It's a struggle, but I'm doing the best. A lot of the places that I'm staying at have a gym, which helps. But yeah. My fun time, my hobbies, what I thought was fun, right? No time for that. When you have this big vision, you have a big goal, and you're just heading through like a steamroller. I did an audit of myself, right? I looked through everything that I was doing with my time, and I'm like, is this advancing what I'm doing? If it's not, then get rid of it. So for those that don't know, I used to be a hardcore gamer. I had another YouTube channel where I was a gamer. I was actually sponsored. I was technically a professional sponsored gamer for NHL. Of course, back to hockey. That's what I did. So I was sponsored by EA Sports. So I was relatively known in the NHL community. And if any of you guys are still watching from the NHL community, comment down below, Goif Squad. But yeah, and I threw that all away, right? I got rid of that, and I used to be into making costumes. That sounds nerdy, but I used to be into making costumes like Pepakura. So here's my Iron Man build. You've probably seen this. This is still in my office. So stuff like that I used to put in a lot of time into, I got rid of. It really all comes down to time, right? I gave up the time that I would spend doing other things to pursue business. So whether that was, gaming or playing hockey, paying attention to hockey, spending time with friends, everything that was who I was at a certain point, I killed, right? I killed it. So really, in a sense, I sacrificed who I was to become who I could be, or who I wanted to be. So do I regret it? I do, in small portions, right? If I could go back, I would have told myself, you don't have to be Rambo, right? You can go in and still have time to enjoy things as you're going along. Like, I really just buried myself in this, and I closed my eyes to everything else. And I thought that was the best way to go, and I would do it again, right? It's not like I wish I could go back and throw everything else away. I would do it again in a heartbeat, but I would take it slower, right? I would tell myself that, hey, it's not the be all end all, getting to a certain point in income is not the be all end all. You should still try to, would I dump my friends again, right? I would, but I would make, more time, right? I would make more time, maybe once every 2 weeks, hang out with somebody, once every month, call a buddy, right? As opposed to the way I just cold turkey cut them out. Would I still involve myself in hockey? I probably wouldn't play, because that takes a lot of time, right? But I would probably tell myself, hey, you can watch the game tonight. You can watch this playoff game, right? You don't have to, what I would used to do, I would guilt myself, right? So I'd be like, oh, I can't watch this. And I would make myself feel like, oh, you're wasting your time, your opportunity time to, be doing this other thing to advance your business, which is true, but it's okay to sit back and enjoy something sometimes. When I look back on the bridges I've burnt almost, and things that I can't get back, I almost wish that I could, right? That's why I said at the beginning, there's no returns, there's no turning back, there's no redo on this. So if I was to go back, hypothetically, just to tell you, just enjoy it, right? You can still enjoy yourself while pursuing money, because at the end of the day, if you throw everything else away and all you're left with is money, it kind of sucks. But the most important thing that I want you to get from this video, I left it to the end, is that when you're making sacrifices, which you're going to have to make, right? I assume you're watching this channel because you want to increase your income, and for some reason, if there's financial independence, you want to live a huge life, or you just want some side income, you're going to have to make sacrifices. Now, what I want you to know is that it is worth it, right? It is worth it to sacrifice who you are to become who you can be. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but here's the thing. Now that I look back on it, who you are and who you're comfortable being is only nice because that's who you're comfortable being, right? My life now is way better than it was back then, when I used to hang out with my friends, when I used to be, playing video games every day, when I used to watch every hockey game, when I used to play hockey every weekend. That life is only good when you're reminiscing about what it was, right? It's only good because that's who I was comfortable being, right? It only seems nice when I'm reminiscing about it, right? No matter how much my life has changed, I look back on better days, Post Malone. But really, the truth of the matter is, it's better now. The only thing is, I'm not comfortable with it because it's all new to me, right? Traveling the world and being able to do these cool things. Sometimes I sit down, I'm like, man, I wish I could go back to partying like that and hanging out with these people and, and playing these games. But really, I only feel that way because that's the skin I was most comfortable with, right? I lived in that skin for 20 years. It's like a snake living in a skin for 20 years, and then you just shed into something new. Like, even though he upgraded and he went from a small snake to a huge snake, he's more comfortable as he was before because this is new, right? So this is new for me, so it is worth it, right? Because the only reason you think it's too scary to sacrifice who I am to become who I could be, right? To become something else. But really, who you could be is so much better. Right? Who you could be is so much better. And I that might have came off wrong, but really that was a message to myself. As long as you're not compromising your values, right? As long as you're not becoming a friendly snake to a vicious attacking snake. Don't give up your integrity and all this just to attain something. But if you're afraid of, oh, I don't want to give up this hobby. Oh, I don't want to miss, the Super Bowl. Oh, I don't want to, lose this friend because we've been friends for so long, right? Sometimes that's just things you got to do, and at the end of the day, it will be worth it. Because you don't have to give up one thing for the other, right? It's just you got to build the layers. And that's what I've learned, is that I don't have to give up my health for money. I don't have to give up my friends for money. I don't have to give up my family for money. But you have to build each thing, right? You can have it all, right? I just have to make the commitment to start going back to the gym. I just have to make the commitment to network and make new friends who have similar visions, right? It's not like you have to give up one thing for the other. You don't have to do that. The point of this video is that you don't have to do that. It's just what I did. It's just that I had to learn that through my own process, and I'm sharing it with you so that hopefully you don't, I wouldn't call it a mistake, but is that so that you don't have to guilt yourself out of, enjoying your time, enjoying your journey, because it's not, you don't have to, bury yourself in it. So that's about it. Really, I know I went off on a tangent. It's kind of one of those ranty videos that I do. I know a lot of people say I need to have a script, but I don't like doing that. I like to just go off the top. I feel like it's more real that way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like down below, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. My name is JT Franco. This whole channel is about sharing my experiences in business and in life so that you can take from them to build your very own empire. And I know that's what you want to do. So don't forget to subscribe right over there. Click my face. If you want to see the rest of my story, you can go ahead and click right over there. Or if you just want to see something else, then there's another video for you right there on the bottom. So that's it. I hope to see you tomorrow. Peace out.